My name is Mary Jordan Hughes, and I'm here to talk to you today about research and methodology. So, the first thing I want to draw your attention to is the question on the slide, and I'm going to answer that question for you on how our group decided it was best. So, according to Phil Dance from Alter Agents, the evolution of shopping apps proves to be the largest growth trend with millennials in their grocery shopping behaviors. According to data collected in our Shoppers SAT study, which interviews 1,000 grocery shoppers each week, 43% of millennials report using some kind of mobile app to grocery shop, either to help them prepare a list, search for coupons, or check for store sales ahead of shopping. The growth of shopping apps is staggering and continues to be on an upward cycle. This quote was from 2016, so you can only imagine how much that has changed since 2020, especially with all of the COVID things changing in our society. So with that being said, I want to continue on and talk about why we decided that this was the best idea for our app and our target market. I know that quote only spoke about millennials, but that is true for every age group that there is, especially now with grocery stores being limited occupancies thanks to COVID. So we wanted to make an app that had updated inventory for shoppers on a minute-by-minute basis. So anytime they would go on the app and open it up, they would be able to find how much the grocery store had on hand of the product they were looking for, which can be really helpful and help people save time while grocery shopping. Moving on to the research, our first step we took as a group was to develop a product that would clarify the problem that we had, which I just stated. The second step in our process was to ideate so that we could create a solution to the problem the consumers were facing. So this is where we sat down at the drawing board and we all thought about ways that we thought would be best for the consumer and the easiest way for the consumer to find what they needed. The third step of our process was to create a prototype of our app. The purpose of the prototype was to communicate what we wanted to achieve as our end product. So that was just a visual, so we all were on the same page of knowing what we wanted for our consumers. The last step was to test our prototype and get feedback from the consumers. So since this is not a real project, we can do that by conducting surveys, holding focus groups, conducting experiments to better understand how the users will feel about our app. And had we had funding to be able to go forward with this, then we could really use these surveys and focus groups to understand what consumers do and don't like about our project. We gathered mainly secondary data because secondary data is free or relatively inexpensive, and it saves time in collecting data, which we really needed because this was such a fast-paced project. We're going to wait to gather more primary data so we can better observe our consumer behavior to the problems, and once we do that, we can then further our budget into opening up more research. But thank you for listening to me, and that is my time.